Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Thing Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games. Bob, I got something to ask you.
Oh, no.
KZ Excellent.
I like squares.
And Mr. Aggro.
Here for a limited time till I'm overturned by a rogue Supreme Court.
Here on GigaBoots.
Bark, bark.
Hope you gamers woke up.
I think they're awake now.
Yeah, I think they probably are. Hello,
the brick
everyone.
that got dropped on them may have woken them up.
That was a stunning Mr. Field impersonation, Dr.
I just really couldn't figure out how to work hating Hillary Clinton in there.
There wasn't enough room. Sometimes things have to drop in importance a little bit.
The real cutting room floor moment here.
Some things are assumed.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big Thing Dimension. I'm your host, Dan Video Games, now with visual. We've got the full crew in that people are fungible. The number is yet again 4.
That's how that works. Okay.
We are here to talk about. Let me read the cue card. The latest gaming news. That's all it said.
Just the latest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we have one news story that happened the most recently.
Yes.
And everything else is in the past and no longer matters.
That's
Exactly.
correct. That's what we call the zeitgeist.
That sounds efficient.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice 10-minute podcast. Thank Christ. But yeah, we'll start it off with what we've been doing. Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up?
What have we been doing?
Oh. What did we stream last week? I forgot.
It was Sonic Origins.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
What a nightmare. What a horrible thing they released for $40.
Again! How do they keep doing this with remasters?
It is completely unacceptable what they've done.
Yeah, that Sonic 3 port might be worse than basically any other remaster we played recently.
Ever, possibly, yeah. It's like Silent Hill Collection and then slightly better than that.
This is really insane how they're devoted to taking games that people like and making their remasters bad.
Yeah, it's confounding. The weird thing is you get to start with like Sonic 1, CD, and 2, which aren't the best way to play those, but they're pretty all right, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a little blurry, but other than that, fine.
And the music's pretty filtered and sounds weird. I don't know what.
Okay.
Yeah.
All I'd seen about this collection so far was sometimes when you go underwater, it turns like
Perfectly
anime
white.
bathtub opaque.
Yes. That happens. Those games are based on the ports that were already made to mobile and PS3 generation consoles. Those are fine. But then you get into Sonic 3, which is the most not okay at all. The thought of like let's just subtract Sonic 3 from the equation, right? This collection is not worth Sans Sonic 3 $30.
No.
So the gall to charge what is 40, I believe,
Yeah, 40.
is insane, given that Sonic 3 is the worst part of this package.
Oh.
Which is the first time it's been re-released anytime recently.
Let me explain. Some of the
I'm
more
in suspense. What happened to 3?
some of the more iconic songs in Sonic 3 are in fact made by Michael Jackson's crew. And even though they have to pay royalties to I forgot his name, composer of Sonic 1 and 2, they didn't successfully or try at all to strike a deal with the Michael Jackson composition team. So they have replaced Ice Cap Zone, Carnival Night Zone, Knuckles theme itself, and a number of other things with either the Sonic 3 Knuckles version or the prototype. It gets worse. The prototype songs that made their way to PC back in the day, but recomposed for chiptune by Jun Sonoe in the worst way possible, where it's like, you don't know how to mix music levels of terrible. Where it's like, here's the melody, it's buried. It is terrible.
They also changed the Supersonic theme to basically something for Sonic 4.
Yeah, it sounds like Sonic 4, the Supersonic theme, so bad.
Like, hey, you want to play Sonic 3? Sure. Just without the music. What?
Just hit the mute button and everything's fine.
We're going out for pasta. Hooray! No sauce. What?
What? Like, we're going out for pasta. Hooray! Fazoli's. Ah!
They didn't even boil it. You're just crunching through this shit.
It's so crunchy. Yum. Yeah, Sonic Origins is unacceptable. It truly is a terrible way to play Sonic 3. And that doesn't even get into things that are a problem on every release on that collection. For example, the menu and the HUD and all of these elements that aren't literally Sonic 1, 2, 3 CD is running in the Hedgehog engine, which is the engine they use for Sonic Forces. So you go, how did they integrate the Sonic Hedgehog engine into this headcanon engine or whatever they're calling it in order to run? So they run the engine made by the people who, you know, in the past did these cool remasters, or some of them, for Sonic to make it run in widescreen and scale stuff and all sorts of stuff. They run it inside of the Hedgehog engine and then render it to a texture that the camera's just looking at. And since they didn't program the texture to not just smoothly scale it, it is one of the blurriest collections to come out since the PS3 era. I'm sitting here gaming in 4K while Sonic 3 is blurred to absolute shit. It looks terrible.
I love that with the progress of time and technology, the vastly larger amount of computing power available has just turned out to be more rope for lazy and incompetent motherfuckers to make bad shit.
Yeah.
Sega will, in fact, ruin everything. That's just a constant.
We're taking advantage of every CPU cycle to give no fucks.
Yes.
It's really impressive. On a PC, modders are doing their best to, like, hey, we made it so the texture that it renders sharply upscales. We have made mods to put the original songs back in.
New law. If the number of man hours by the community to mod your game into being worthwhile is equal to or greater than the number of man hours you put into it, it's now public domain.
God, that'd be delightful.
They also sold you that thing.
The Elder Scrolls.
Man, America's culture is so rich.
Bethesda are really cool about this.
Because they have to be. Legally. What's up, Bob?
The deluxe version you got came with the ability to move the camera on the menus.
Now, there's a specific phrasing here. Move the camera.
Mm-hmm. I've heard this phrase, but I've never quite gotten what's happening here.
What they meant to write is angle and zoom the camera. You can't do this, anything. You can just... And it's a 3D island they made for each game that you can look at from this one exact spot and angle and zoom. It is terrible. My expectations were low. They went lower. It was impressive. So to one up that even further, they also, one of the things they sold with the extra cool edition for $5 was bonus tracks that you can only listen to in the music player. You can't be like, hey, play this when I play this level in this game. No, it's this music goes in the music player. Go to the music player to listen to it. They shoved in all this music. They mislabeled it. So I go to play the best song, one of the best songs in Sonic history, Door into Summer, which is Knuckles Chaotix music. And it just starts playing the bad ending theme or something similar. And somebody had to, I started getting mad. I'm like, chat, where the hell is Door into Summer? They're like, it's the bad ending theme. You have to go play that to hear. I'm like, what the hell have they done? every layer of this collection, all the way up.
Don't you want to go listen to the music on a device that's literally making the music run worse? Like, not play right?
Yeah, and everything's filtered to shit and sounds terrible compared to just listening to, say, a high-quality YouTube rip. It's pretty fucking dire over here.
I mean, at a certain point, you have to assume that market research has told Sega that the core Sonic fan base just hates themselves. Like, the deluxe edition is $5 extra for some dumb bullshit and a thing that doesn't work right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, hurt me more, Snake.
It's like the last couple of years, Sega has been extra obsessed with any way they can squeeze extra dollars on a release. They're like, get the special edition of our Nocturne remaster to play it 3 days early.
Yeah.
And it is now capping off with the pre-order grid for a Sonic collection.
For a Sonic collection, most of which wasn't even necessary. Because, like, one of those tiers is pre-order it digitally, and you get this. And another one was, like a lot of the features for the $5 version unlock when you just beat the game.
God, really?
Yeah, I think moving the camera in mirror mode unlocks that way. I don't think the extra music does.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, it's truly dire. It's truly dire. I was giving them such a major curve where I was just like, yeah, I understand. You allegedly couldn't get the original Michael Jackson music. I got it. And then I played it. I was like, nope, never mind. You fucked this up still. Jesus Christ.
You should have done literally anything else.
Also, to be clear, the Supersonic theme originally in Sonic 3 Knuckles is just the invincibility theme, which is fine. But someone, I'm not going to say it's June's fault, but someone at Sega went, well, we should have a theme for that. Why is it the same as invincibility? And then put in some Sonic 4-ass music, which sounds fucking terrible. So yeah, that's one of the worst collections I've ever fucking bought. I think I appreciated that Street Fighter collection with the pile lag more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That at least has an amazing gallery.
Yeah,
I don't think
and a good collection of games that's pretty large, and it wasn't insanely expensive for said collection.
Yeah, they didn't look like that. They all scaled right.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at the Battle Network fucking trailer for the collection.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, please tell me that filter turns off.
Yeah.
That's
That'd be the first Capcom collection
one
if
where
the
they fucked
filter
it. Yeah,
wouldn't turn
Yeah.
off if
Yeah.
it was.
They're just really proud of it.
yeah. They're like, look at this. It's HQ2X. I'm like,
With a terrible font used for the text.
But yeah, it's rough. Oh yeah, and also the Blue Sphere Zone music doesn't speed up at all. They couldn't figure out how to do that, so it stays
What?
there.
What?
So it saves the starting speed the whole time.
Whose high school project was this collection?
Headcanon.
they
Now,
what makes it worse is that they've had 5 years or something since the last major Sonic release. They could have been working on this at any point, but it sounds like they
rushed
didn't
it
think
in the last year and a half.
they didn't think about it until literally last year, and they like announced it and started working on it then.
Yeah, they're like, for the anniversary of Sonic, we've decided to greenlight a thing we will rush the hell out of. On a related note, Stealth, the head of the team that made this, took to Twitter to be like, yo, I don't mean to blow up a bridge between me and Sega, but... And then he tweeted a bunch of shit, and in my opinion, Sega definitely has enough of an ego. Most Japanese corporations do. Where this tweet alone would definitely destroy relations. Where they're just like, we asked for a delay early on so we could get some features in. They said no. We asked for a delay approaching launch to get some stuff done. They said no. And then people were trying to give them rump of like, well, there's a physical release. So of course they... What do you mean there's no physical? So they could have digitally delayed it and it would have been okay.
There's no...
I have to assume Stealth only went to that after months of unresponsive Sega or something to that effect, where it's like, I can't get any leverage here. There's no traction happening.
Yeah, I mean, the fact it's out in the form it is and the way he phrases it is... We don't know if we're going to be allowed to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it seems like not only were there unaccounted for glitches in their end of the work, but when they implemented it with the Hedgehog engine, more glitches arose.
Yeah, I have to wonder if Sega's super hesitant to update it because it's like, well, that's on. They have to have someone in their team work on the Hedgehog engine to implement these fixes, and it's like that's not possible. That's absolutely never going to happen. Those guys are all working on Sonic Frontiers.
That's a good point. So,
what if they released these games with a very basic UI?
What if they just released these games in a way where each of them boots from the fucking PS5 OS, and you just select Sonic 3?
Yeah, why if they just had... I know why they don't have to do the thing where they just let Headcanon make the whole thing. Right. They have a too big an ego. That's incredibly clear from this whole thing.
They are convinced they provided most of the value here with the islands and the music player, and it's like, these are terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't get it. When even Konami's putting out collections where, well, it's a menu and it runs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Konami did a pretty good job because they just let M2 handle it.
Yeah, you just hire a separate company for this stuff. That just makes sense. It's what everyone does.
But they, Sega, they brought in their creative and they added value. Value like not knowing how to mix a song. Like those fucking Sonic Origins versions are so bad that YouTube's blowing up with like SpongeBob memes making fun of it. Where SpongeBob walks up to Squidward and he's like, "That's really creative how you're just playing an A flat." He's like, "What do you mean? I'm playing the notes right." And then he plays the fucking Sonic Origins version. He's like, "No, actually, it's supposed to sound like this." Do. And they play the prototype remastered by fans. And I'm like, this is sad. They already had the work done. The song was already made. All they had to do was hire an actual chiptune artist. They're like, "Don't worry, Jun Snowy's got this." And then we listened to it and we're like, no, he doesn't.
No, he does not.
Sonic 4 should have been enough evidence for that, but here we are again. People are taking themes like the Supersonic theme, putting it in a Sonic 4 sound font, and it sounds like it just came from that game. Sonic 4 soundtrack, by the way, the only time I've ever said, "Hey, you ever just get nostalgic for a time you were really fucking pissed?"
like Sonic 4 came out all these years ago, and I saw it, and I'm like, wow, this looks bad. And then that was the end of my relationship with Sonic 4.
That's cool.
And it has just haunted you for all these years.
It's just in a closet.
I got Amazon Music, and I'm like, "Oh, this is cool. This is cool. What do we? You have Sonic 4 soundtrack on here." Yeah. It's like
I like when
pumping the fucking rage from fucking Bane into my face.
You mean Venom?
Yeah.
Rage is the virus from 28 Days Later.
Okay, go ahead and do that too. I'm done.
There you go. I don't even want to be a good zombie. I want to be a shitty modern zombie.
I want to be a
Let's do
shitty
it.
modern zombie. I want to be filmed on a fucking like Super 16 camcorder.
I want to be one of the first digital movies ever recorded. It'll look kind of cool for this one thing, but then you realize a lot of movies are going to look like this now, and you just get sad.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that was Sonic Origins.
Yeah, it's probably enough.
I really like how on announcement it had a red flag immediately of, "Here's our collection. Why is Sonic 3 4x3 and looks like completely unedited?" They're like, "Don't worry, we are making it."
It's great. It's coming along. And I'm like,
Please join our team at www.
Right.
Thank you, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, God.
Contribute your own music tracks. They'll be better. But yeah, that's what's up.
God damn it. What? It has completely flown my mind. That old website with nothing but
Zombocon?
No. Like 200 really good remixes of old video game music and 8 million really terrible ones.
OCRemix.org.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like our time has come.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Oh man. But yeah, that was Sonic Origins, and in the middle of playing that, we made jokes about Siphon Filter literally being Morbius. What? So we changed the stream goal title to "Put Siphon Filter back in it."
Just imagining Boomer with his knife arm being like, "I'm morbing out."
So I guess because of said jokes, we now owe people a Siphon Filter stream.
That's cool.
You know, I don't think I've ever actually seen those games in motion.
Yeah.
Most people haven't, I don't think.
Yeah, most people haven't. The closest
I might
we've
try to
gotten,
avoid seeing it.
the closest we've gotten is multiple viewers saying, "My brother played that game."
I keep trying to think of Siphon Filter, and I picture that arcade cabinet with the big sniper rifle on it.
Oh, Silent Scope. Nice.
Yeah.
I wish.
That's all I
That
got.
would be great.
When one of our friends tweeted out, "Yeah, I used to love Siphon Filter," I was like, "We've known you for over a decade. That never came up." What?
Yeah. No, I was like, are you gaslighting me right now via this tweet? Because I don't remember once being like, "Siphon Filter, that's a video game, and one of us has played it." Yeah, so I'm excited to learn about that using the rewind feature. Siphon Filter absolutely strikes me as the type of game where it's like, you made one small mistake because Gabe Logan's a shitty tank person. You now have to redo the last 20 minutes of meticulous bullshit. possibly the only game I've ever just upfront gone, yeah, we're going to cheat.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. We're going to cheat.
I mean, I'm looking forward to finally learning what the siphon filter is.
Now, apparently, I've been told we're going to find out in the first 10 minutes of that game. And that convinces me that title will not make sense for any other siphon filter game.
Oh.
Because it is a plot MacGuffin for this game, I assume.
Is it the thing that makes the freakers?
It might be,
what
actually.
if your team is the siphon filter?
I doubt it. I bet the siphon filter is some sort of siphon filter. What if it's not a siphon filter? What if it's a cipher filter?
Ooh.
Then the game would be called something different.
Are you sure it's written by John Garvin, the Days Gone guy? I remembered the news from last week at random on our trip, and I just smiled. I was like, oh, that's coming. That's great.
That
Very
might be
excited.
one of your top 10 moments of the year. Of
I'm
just
just-
like, good news.
I'm so excited to touch bases with that again in a few months when it goes, yeah, they got more funding. And then a few months later when it's like, and the project's done.
You mean it released, right?
But yeah, no, that was Sonic Origins is a real bummer. It says a lot that it was so upsetting. I have fun basically every Friday doing our streams. At some point, Sonic Origins just became depressing. Which is why we started making jokes like put siphon filter back in theaters.
God damn it.
See, but the funny thing is when we hit that stream goal, I told chat, I'm like, the joke's on you. This is a reverse Morbius. You all paid us and none of you are showing up to watch it.
If you do like we could do a full death stream of like the Siphon Filter series. Put that in a theater we rent.
Okay.
And probably get more people to show up than did for Morbius.
I mean, based on that reissue, I think it was 80 people per theater, or either 80 or 8.
Yeah, I'm like, if we just book 2 showings, right? And then we sell them out. We did it. Why does this movie theater have a hashtag put siphon filter back in theaters on it? What does that mean? But yeah, after that, me and Bob decided to leave town for a bit, So we did. Definitely no crimes we were avoiding.
I was gonna say, was this like a lay low leave town or like a?
Yeah, that was cool. I got to eat food. I had never eaten Indian food. Have you eaten Indian food? Frozen packages do not count.
It's been a long time since I've asked this question, so I don't know the politically correct way to ask it anymore. When you say Indian food,
I mean Indian food from India,
not Native American food.
That was pretty good. But then I also ended up at an Indian grocer's, and they had the worst thing I've ever had in my life. It was a masala soda, meaning curry soda.
yeah.
Yeah, that was rough.
It was bad. We've done GigaBoots Eats, and it's by far the most disgusting thing in the world.
I mean, did you remember to put the bouillon cube in it first?
That might have helped, but it already tasted so much like salt.
Yeah, I was like, there's salt in there already.
It was
the fun thing about salt when it comes to the human body. There's a certain threshold at which your sensory apparatus resets.
But I've only tried to drink the water in the ocean. It doesn't work.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. You've got to go beyond the threshold. All right.
I think you might die.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's
the reset.
That's the reset.
You will be reborn as someone who hopefully won't drink ocean water.
A certain amount of saltiness, you will no longer be able to sense the saltiness, and we can just pack it in there.
That's pretty
Because
great.
you're dead.
Yeah, we knew something was wrong immediately with this fucking soda because
it said masala on the outside.
Yes.
Well, a lot of things say their things and don't go that far on the bit. This soda committed to a bit. It definitely did.
It's out here living its truth.
I've never tasted a soda that tastes primarily like salt and was describable as thick. It was horrible. I've never bailed on a soda in my life. Yeah, it was vile. It was truly terrible. I cannot believe we found something so vile.
Like you can make a soda taste however terrible you want. There is an acceptable range of consistency when it comes to making a soft drink. And thick is not in that range.
It's like, how do I put this? You know, like instead of drinking Gatorade, you could drink like electrolyte fluid, and that stuff's kind of thicker, right? Like a saline solution. Instead of needing to drink Gatorade to help stomach problems or something like that, you just literally drink a Pedialyte or something like that. That's just medical, right?
Yeah.
So imagine you start at that thickness.
Until you said Pedialyte, I was thinking, have you just ripped open and drank a saline bag?
Yeah. I mean, yes, it was this soda.
It's like a Morbid out.
A Morbid out. Fucking salt overdose death in a nearby hotel. Yeah, that was terrible. That was horrible. I'd never want that to happen again. I was just distraught for like an hour afterward. I've never been so betrayed by a soda in my life. I'm serious, guys. This is the worst thing I've ever consumed.
Cool.
Things I've consumed that were okay. Diet fudge soda, Iron Brew, many sparkling waters rank way above this.
Oh man, that's
fuck. I hate sparkling water.
I'm not a big fan of sparkling water. In fact, I bought a Coke that was like vintage Coke, and then I drink it and I'm like, this is just sparkling water. And then I noticed the small line of text. It's like, we got you, bitch. And I'm like, God damn it. This thing's so much worse. But yeah, aside from that, me and Bob throwed axes.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. You can set up in this place. They have like a giant thing of wood on the wall with bullseyes painted on it and point values. And they go, here's a small axe, here's a big axe. This is how you throw them. I immediately start throwing well, and Spiff's like, have you thrown axes before? And I'm like, maybe. My father was very Southern, but I don't remember
you get a
it.
+2 to ranged attacks with hand axes. You're from Florida.
Yeah.
It's an ancestry bonus.
It was really good because Tosh actually was nailing the wall with the correct edge of it and everything. But apparently there wasn't enough force because she was using the lighter one. So it just keeps hitting it and falling off, and I'm like, she's doing it right!
No, too much dex, not enough strength.
Yeah, exactly. To be fair, if you had an intruder in your home, you don't need to throw that hard for that to hurt like hell.
I've never been to one of those places, and I've always been fascinated to go because I want to know how their axes are weighted. Like, are they weighted like weapon axes or like tool axes, and what kind? And like,
in my opinion, based on using that, weapon axes.
Okay.
Because there's not a whole lot of weight in the handle.
So like the blades are thinner than a wood axe would be?
I think so, yeah.
I think the blades were pretty thin. And it did, like, I think they were even labeled like throwing axes, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And people, like, the whole time were just making jokes of, well, you got practice on that Xbox. And I'm like, we didn't throw axes at the Xbox. It was scary enough to hit the Xbox because shit would just explode everywhere. Does anyone remember which part of the Xbox flew out and came this close to, like, hitting my shin? This, like, hunk of metal
I think it
flew
was
out of that bastard.
Wasn't it the heat...
the heat sink?
Yeah, the heat sink.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was the heatsink or just the shell for the power supply or something else like that. It just flew insanely fast. You could see in the video us go, and then me looking down at it being like, oh shit, didn't bring shin guards.
So did they, like, was it just like hatchets, or did they give you like full size axes as well?
They had a hatchet, and then I wouldn't say a full size axe, like nothing near the size we used in that video. What do you think, Bob? That about right?
A little bigger.
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah, like this or so.
Okay.
This
is doing a great job for people who are listening.
I'd say they're about the same size as the God of War axe.
Yeah.
For the larger axe.
Yeah. I would go a little smaller than that, but yeah.
So something like a Franciscan, just like a mid-size throwing. Okay, yeah.
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 Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. I've always wanted to go to one of those places because like throwing an axe that's weighted for throwing is, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Throwing a wood splitting axe is horrifying.
Yes.
Every time you do it, because to get it going fast enough to stick into a tree, it's going fast enough to where it turns
Yes.
really near your face.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a thrill.
Oh, cool! I split my sternum open. This is great.
Don't do it. Don't try it at home.
Yeah, seriously, do not try this at home. I really appreciate you coming there. And the guy's like, "This is how throwing axes works." And I'm like, "Oh, this is great. Thank you for the explanation." Because people need to know to move forward, like step smoothly, pivot, throw with this hand. This hand goes top. This one goes bottom, etc., etc. And then he's like, "Okay, we're halfway through. I'm going to distract you guys. I'm going to make you get excited again and probably fuck up enough where you want to come back. Here's how you underhand throw." And I tried that like 3 times and went, fuck this. There's no way.
Yeah, I got to work or stick like twice using that.
I got 0 sticks on that.
That was my problem. I kept trying all the different throwing styles and I didn't get good at any of them.
You fell for his marketing ploy.
Yes, absolutely.
Bob over here with that fast-pitched softball axe throw.
Yeah, he's like, you do an uppercut movement and then you just let go at some point. And I'm like, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm not made by NetherRealm Studios. I can't do that iconic side profile uppercut.
Don't have the traps for it.
I don't. Yeah, no, that was really good. We also did Top Golf. Have you ever heard of Top Golf?
Yeah, that's the one where you get oiled up and play volleyball on a mini golf course, right?
No, that's Top Gun. Slightly different.
Hell yeah.
Slightly different. Top Golf, basically building.
It looked like it was a driving range on top of a building.
Yeah, 2 or 3 floors of a driving range. They have different spots. If you hit the bullseye in each spot, which there are huge spots all the way, you get different amounts of points. It keeps track of it electronically most of the time.
Yeah, like between those places and mini golf, we can just abolish regular golf.
As someone who really enjoyed Top Golf and maybe fucked up his hand, yeah, sure, yeah, absolutely. It's pretty good because they're like, getting it further is not as cool as hitting a bullseye and one near you. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. How much does the end goal? Because they have flags and they're like, just literally hit it the whole range. And they're like 75 points. And I'm like, that's my goal.
Do not limit my imagination.
But yeah, that was great. I spent a good year or so there a long time ago just being like, I could be really good at golf. I'll never know. I don't got money for that. I'll never fucking know. So that was really cool to get to do Top Golf and be like, yes, if driving is the only thing that matters, absolutely. But yeah, aside from that, we ate a bunch of good food. We checked out the city. Maybe we moved GigaBoots HQ there. Don't know. But aside from that, I'm trying to... Oh, Bob and I played Air Twister.
Yes!
Air Twister, of course, the Yu Suzuki... God damn it, every time.
Apple Arcade.
I'm trying to remember the classic Sega shmup that it's based on.
Space Harrier.
Space Harrier.
And Panzer Dragoon.
It is an art style like Panzer Dragoon.
Okay, this is
but
a video
mechanically
game.
pretty
and
close
not an
to
installation attraction.
No.
In that town.
We went into a twister.
Like you go into one of those indoor skydiving places, and they've got colorful circles all over the inside of the tube.
And you're just flipping around, and you need to.
And eventually, you assume sex is going to happen because that's what everybody says.
I like the play. Local man tries out place. I heard there was the sex there. I enjoyed it, but there was no sex. Damn.
Every Yelp review of Nevada.
It's a whole state. Yeah, like, can you Yelp review a whole state?
Yes.
I heard there was sex here.
Fact, you can.
There was not. But yeah, Air Twister. It is, long-time listeners of the podcast know I constantly go, if it's on Apple Arcade, it should work on the MacBook. That's the way I would like to play these games. I'm here to say that is the worst possible way to play Air Twister. Do not do that. So, Air Twister, like Space Harrier, kind of like Panzer Dragoon. Behind the character view, you move them around, you do a lock-on on a bunch of enemies, and you shoot the laser thing. You move by tapping the screen where you want to move, and you also can swipe across enemies to lock onto them. This is very simple. On a MacBook, you have to hold the shoot button and then use the arrow keys to try to move exactly in front of the enemy in order to lock onto them, because there is no aiming reticle.
No.
Yeah, Air Twister's pretty cool. I did not expect the structure of that game, though.
Yeah, it's literally an arcade game, which I think is kind of cool. Like, if you die, it's just, it's over.
Yeah, but then they give you like islands of upgrade trees.
Yeah, it's just an upgrade branching tree, but it has the conceit of it being different islands, which is strange. It's like a big world map that you're going across.
Yeah, they're like, here's your adventure guide. And I'm like, oh, wow, adventure quest, adventure guide. What's that? And then I look at it and I'm like, this is an upgrade tree. You should learn English.
We're forgetting the most notable part, I think, where every single song is ripped off from Queen, and it's great.
This sounds sort of like Queen. They just, the game over screen is Bohemian Rhapsody sung by someone else with new exciting lyrics.
Yes.
Ooh.
It's to the point of, well, I mean, it could very directly rip off Bohemian Rhapsody and maybe just cuts to the middle part. Dun, 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 dun. No. It opens. And I'm like, no.
But it's kind of a great game over screen song. I'm not going to lie.
I could not believe how committed they were to this bit. And the other songs are also insanely Queen core. Like the solos and all these other bits are just perfectly. And I'm like, this is great. This is great. Do they know Apple Arcade's in America?
Yeah, I have to wonder if they're skirting under that radar.
Because I'm just picturing Space Harrier, and I'm like, yeah, I'd listen to Queen while playing Space Harrier.
Yes, of course you would. Who wouldn't? It is. I've never heard someone rip off Queen so directly before.
Yeah, it's never been this close.
Usually,
was it a legally appropriate choice? Probably not. Was it a morally correct choice? I think so.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. But yeah, Air Twister is pretty fun. I definitely recommend playing it on your phone.
Yeah, I've been playing on my iPad. It's hard to get my finger across everything, but it does a very nice, clear view of it. So
yeah,
that's been my preferred way to play it. I've gotten to like stage 7 or so.
Okay. I forgot how far I got. I think it was maybe 6.
Okay.
Yeah. I like being able to access every part of the touchscreen, so I'm not sure I would like the iPad version.
Yeah.
Yeah. My phone is fucking huge though, so it's still reaching a little bit. But yeah. It's every enemy except for the really big boss enemies is basically a one-hit kill. It's really weird because they want you to perfect a stage and kill everything so you can get lots of points for upgrading. And the things you'll upgrade in the Adventure Quest guide or whatever it's called is like add 1 tiny pip of health.
Yes.
So it'll be like you have 3 big hearts, and under each of those there are 10 small hearts or 15 small hearts or something. You buy 1 small heart at a time.
Yeah, and then you get new costumes.
Yep.
You eventually get new weapons, which I'm excited to get to, but I haven't been able to find yet. They're deep in that skill tree. And you also get more lock-ons at once. And I think the arcade mode you can play just starts you with like a large amount of health and all the lock-ons you can get. So
and the goal is to 1 CC basically. Because okay, that's neat.
And for beating each stage, depending on your score, you get health back. That's on the normal mode as well.
Okay,
so that's how you end up getting farther, like trying to perfect the level, and then having, instead of starting 3 hearts, you start with 4 hearts basically. If you can get all the way through it, perfecting it.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know what Panzer Dragoon or Space Harrier is, it's just a flying shooter. You're just behind the person.
Rail-based shooter.
Schmorward?
Schmorward.
Yeah, Schmorward.
Schmorward until Schmon.
They do start more difficult enemies. Like there are some in later levels that start out shielded, and you have to wait for them to open up to actually hit them. So you have to delay when you click on them because you might end up doing the shot too early, and then you don't have time to shoot it before they leave.
True. Yeah.
And I think that in the latest level I got to, there were literally ones that took more than 1 hit.
Okay.
So they ramp up the difficulty slowly. I don't know how many stages they're going to be.
I really like the aesthetic choices changing per level.
Yeah, they go really wild. Yeah,
because Panzer Dragoon, it has kind of one aesthetic the whole time. Like it's all cohesive. This isn't worried about that at all. You'll be like in the Panzer Dragoon beautiful water reflection, which of course this game looks way better than the Panzer Dragoon remake. Let me just say this. This is a fucking phone game and it just looks way better.
The phone game made by EaseNet, the guys who made Shenmue 3.
Right.
That should be a high bar, right?
It's really... So anyways, aesthetically it looks like that in one level and it's like, oh, that's cool. And then a second level is like, oh, it's like the desert level version of that. Then you hit almost straight up Space Harrier, like but geometric shapes dimension.
Yeah, that stage 3 called Dimple. It's one of my favorites because it's so insane. Like, it's a bunch of weird geometric shapes flying at you.
Yeah, it's like pyramids made out of smaller triangle metal plates connecting and flipping and turning. And the boss itself, if I remember it was the boss, it wasn't mid-boss, has like, it's going to throw up a pattern of those triangles, and you need to move to the side that isn't moving at first to dodge it flying into the perspective, and then move around that because it's about to do it and shoot the enemy in the distance. It's really neat. This game's pretty freaking enjoyable. I haven't tried it on a controller yet, but given how the keyboard went, I'm like, no, I'm good. We'll just use the phone. It's fine.
This is one of those where I'm like, I don't know that it coming to other platforms is something that will happen and probably should happen even because it's so focused on touchscreen play.
They could just add a reticle.
They could if they'd have to do alterations to the game to fix it.
Yeah,
adding a reticle would make it way more playable,
and they should. They should actually do that, I think, because more people should try this.
Yeah.
It's the problem with every Apple Arcade game.
If the Wii still was in existence, like have this play like Sin and Punishment.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get the cursor.
Yeah.
I guess you could do that with the Switch because it's got the controllable, like the cursor stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it has the Joy-Con.
PSVR 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, doing this in VR would be insane.
Oh, this would be incredible because the visual aesthetic is so delightful. I'd love to see that in VR.
I love stage 2 because it's in the desert, like you were saying.
Yeah.
There's lots of skeleton monsters and stuff, but those aren't the bad guys.
No.
The bad guys are just weird geometric shapes that come at you.
Yeah, we went this far talking about it, but without mentioning one of the major enemies in this game is the No Man's Sky logo. Yeah, the diamond with the pulsing red eye thing in it. And I'm like, that rules. Hell yeah. So that was awesome. But that game's delightful. I hope it comes to other thing.
The end of each stage, you ride a different monster.
Let me explain. Because you start this game on a goose. Bob's use of the word monsters may be distracting you from the real nature of this. You just start stage 1 on a goose. It starts the second level's ending segment, right? It shows boss. Ooh, boss scary. We then cut to the main character. Main character's now on a flying gecko or something? Yes. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? And it just keeps doing that, and it's funny as shit.
I mean, this game sounds pretty prog rock.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Something between...
Which would explain all the queens.
Yeah. Perfectly matching soundtrack. Air Twister on iOS. A very cohesive package of cool things that might have been on the front of a high schooler's book. Notepad. And the No Man's Sky logo.
Yeah, I feel like if you have an Apple device that can play this, go ahead and pay that $5 and try it out.
Yeah,
like, it's worth it.
Have you tried it on your phone?
I haven't tried it on my phone.
Okay, because that would have been an interesting point of reference because you have an 8.
Right.
And I have a 13 Pro. So, like...
And it runs great on my M1 iPad, but that's cheating.
Yeah, that is cheating. Absolutely. Doesn't that thing have the variable refresh rate?
Yes.
Yeah, and so does my phone.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, I play it on my MacBook, and I'm like, oh, these stutters suck. This is awful. And it's capped at 60. Meanwhile, on the phone, it can go up to 120, and I'm like, oh, look at this shit. It's so smooth. But yeah, no, I'm curious how it runs on lower performance hardware, which is why, like, if we get to... they port that to the Switch, I'll be like, oh no. Because the Switch is way less powerful than our 2 devices here.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it's not even close. And I'm sure they would do a really good job of optimizing it for the Switch.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, I don't know. We got Cheer 1 on a tap 3 days in a row.
We did do that.
It was pretty good.
Lucky.
Cookout's pretty good. They're like, give us $6 and we'll give you a pile of fucking food. And I'm like, you're on.
That was the most impressive restaurant over there. This
menu.
Unfortunately, it always has a gigantic line because they did not have enough staff.
Yeah, it's as backed up as our Whataburger at the absolute worst time of night every time. This menu looks almost like a panic attack because it's like, you begin the beginning, right? At the top, there are 2 sectors of just shit you can get. And this doesn't even describe it all because some of it's like, yeah, you could What was it? What was it? Spiff's recommendation of like, you could just get 4 corn dogs.
Yes, you can get 4 corn dogs.
4 corn dogs and a cheer wine and a large cup. But yeah, no, this is great. Do you like hamburgers, chat? Do you like quesadillas? Do you like hot dogs?
They actually served walking tacos, so I tried that.
Yeah. As I made that tweet of, man, this experience came slightly too late for this week's podcast. You guys don't even know. We literally had just recorded that before we left town, and I overnight edited it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was... If we had had that experience 1 week earlier, I would have been like, I too know about walking tacos. I'm sophisticated.
My awareness of dumping chili in a Fritos bag really is the height of sophistication.
Oh, Dr. Agro, you're so sophisticated.
Look, it was a Doritos bag filled with chili and sour cream. That's all you need.
But yeah, no, that was pretty good. I felt hilariously dumb going there 3 times in a row. Spiff mentioned how many times we had to drive Vox to Whataburger when she came down because they didn't have a Whataburger where she lived. I'm like, yeah, no, this is that, but this place has Cheer One on tap, so. But yeah, aside from that, I think that's everything. Is that everything?
I think so.
Lamb pasanda is really good. That was the Indian dish I had. If you go somewhere that serves lamb pasanda, get it. Jesus fucking Christ. But yes, Cook Space Out, I believe is the name of the restaurant. Even though I'm still like, is it all one word? Is it hyphenated? Is it spaced? I don't know. It seems spaced.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably.
But anyway, that's it. I think. Did you have some other games you've played, Bob?
No, I didn't have time for anything else.
I played a sort of game. Would you like to hear about the sort of game I played?
What's that?
I opened Battle.net.
Oh, no.
And it told me, hey, Dan, you can play Overwatch 2 right now for $40.
Ooh.
I'm like, well, I do like Overwatch. Overwatch 2 sounds like it might be Overwatch with some changes. Let me look at this. When does it come out? 3 months from now.
And how much is Overwatch 2 on release?
Free.
Oh.
You get to buy the Season 1 pass early for who knows how much more expensive than it should cost.
I feel like we call a lot of things that this company does scummy.
Mm-hmm.
But you can feel this one growing on the back of your teeth.
Yeah.
It's not great.
A little bit.
So I just stared at it for a bit. Yeah. Yeah, I figured.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought about, there's so many other video games I am anticipating on a level beyond sure, I guess, that I could play instead.
I went and looked up 3 different streams of Overwatch 2. Every single one was a level that's already in the game with no changes at all. The most noteworthy change I could notice is there are 2 fewer players because it's now 5v5 instead of 6v6. And 1 person in all of those streams was playing a new character.
Let's go.
It feels like they should have just rolled it out early access for everyone. Like, this feels dumb. Like, they're just afraid to try it and like let people actually mess with these new characters.
Yeah.
Without getting some money for it.
Yeah, no, it sucks.
It's like your game's already been decaying for over a year, for 2 years plus.
It's great because, like, when we started the podcast network, you know, Phil would constantly be like, Overwatch is completely dead. And I'm like, it seems alive. People just don't talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
But like, finding matches and stuff seems fine. After they announced Overwatch 2 and everything they went to, yeah, they absolutely just drowned that game.
Oh, yeah. That died then. Back then, saying it was dead was that edgy thing of, it's not the biggest thing in the world, so it's dead.
Yeah.
Thing that happens to every huge game.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, it's now they're siphoning off the player base of their already drowning game into a new game for $40 a head.
Mm-hmm. I remember the main thing I always heard about Overwatch 2 was like, hey, we redesigned the characters. And everybody went, no, you didn't. And I looked at some side by sides, like that would swipe back and forth, and there are noticeable changes to many of these characters.
Okay,
and they're all worse.
Yeah.
All of them have minute visual changes that make them that fucking stupid thing that anytime someone revises anything with a good design does, where they make it a little sleeker, a little more Apple-y, a little more soft future sci-fi, and it's fucking awful.
Yeah. No, I agree. Every redesign I saw, I felt fairly similarly about, where I'm like, guys, why would I pay you for this? This seems like a thing you would patch in and I would get upset about.
You know what Bastion needed to be? Rounder.
I guess for being completely fair, I should say, I also saw in one of the matches that walking mech that is the payload.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Didn't seem to change anything. I got to watch, because I tried to watch some of the bigger streamers because I thought they would be Overwatch streamers and be really informative. Maybe. I watched a guy be really fucking bad as Genji and Hanzo. That's all he played, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm gonna leave this guy's stream, go to someone else.
Fucking.
You're like, oh no, I got the average player of Overwatch.
Look, sometimes you don't commit to going, we'll solve this, Hanzo. And then everyone else on his team started really pulling weight, and he no shit goes into the voice chat and goes, I really pulled it around with Hanzo, and I'm like, Jesus, I need out.
I can't. I don't know what Hanzo does anymore, all right? The last time I played, he had the scatter arrow, and I'm pretty sure they just deleted that move entirely.
Yeah, that's gone. You now have rapid fire arrow, which, fun fact, that was basically the only time I saw him land a fucking hit. When he gets to try 4 times really fast. Anyway, that's a sort of game I played with my wallet.
Yes.
And my self-respect.
Okay. Played chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, I gave a chick.
Yeah. Yes. With that out of the way, we now move on to KZ. KZ, what have you been playing?
Let's see. I was paid to do a depth stream of the 2 Toy Story licensed video games last Friday. So I sat down, did that. For some background, I was given Toy Story 1 as a child. This is the Super Nintendo game. It's also on Genesis. I have a lot of fondness over it. This might be the most horrible, cruel license game I've ever played.
Yeah, I think that's a widely accepted thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Grew up on the Genesis version.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing with slightly worse music. So it's a true crime. Doing this with co-hosts is so important because a lot of them don't know what these games are, so they just get to see stuff like in the 4th level, I think it's the 4th one, you play as the RC car where you can turn awkwardly and use the accelerator to pick up batteries. There are 2 levels of this. One time someone came in and said, what happened? Why'd you die? And I'm like, oh, there's a battery meter down there. They don't really explain it. That's one of those more instruction manual type of situations. I experienced something I've never experienced before in this entire game, where at the end of this first RC car level, you're supposed to hit Buzz out the window, which is just you hit him and then he flies across the world's largest table.
Yeah.
On the last hit, he flies toward the screen and flips around, and it's cool. They're still counting down your battery, so right as it fades out to win, I lost.
Yeah.
So I thought I won, and then it just cut to the level again, and I went, what happened?
Now, I may be insane and wrong, but I think that also happened to us on the first RC kart level when we did it on a retro roulette 2 years ago.
Sounds right.
And I'm like, this is wrong. You did this wrong.
Yeah, it is truly wrong. It's one of those 2D platformers where you don't run, you edge as you travel across the screen, because who knows what's going to appear as a hitbox right now. I get to make people lose their minds that for some reason there is a Doom wad in Toy Story where it's a first person inside the claw machine picking up aliens.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It sure is something. And then you reach Sid's house where there's a section where you're on the roller bob skateboard thing escaping from the horrible dog. And I would just pause and I'm like, there is damage all over this screen. I don't know how I've seen the end of this game as a child, but it happened once. It is crazy. But I finished it by doing the normal thing and just saving over and over again as we continued to edge through what may be the worst level in most video games. that was just making me go crazy. And then I'm like, guys, if I game over, we have to do the whole game again. Someone's like, the US version removed the password feature. It's in every other version of this game. They wanted to cut down on those rentals, and they feel like they didn't do enough.
Yeah.
Just do all like 16 levels in like one shot.
No.
Right.
Yeah, I know. That was absolutely crazy. I forgot how truly horrible that game is.
I felt truly bad for my cousin who had that game. Like, I went on a family trip once. We stayed at my cousin's place, and they were like, this is one of the few Super NES games I own. I was like, wow, Donkey Kong Country 3 is a fucking masterpiece compared to Toy Story on Super NES.
It doesn't try to murder you all the time. Also, big key thing here. I hit the final. I beat the third to last level by the skin of my teeth with one hit left. Your health carries over all the time, and I had no lives left. So the next 2 levels, I had to just one hit.
That was a lot of safe scumming, wasn't it?
Thankfully, the next one was an RC car level, and then the other one was just flying around. So it they really put the worst level like right slab in the middle of the end game like that.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Have you played Sonic R?
No.
Okay. I was going to say, which one do you think is better? Because I like Sonic R more than Toy Story.
I'm going to be honest, I have more belief in Sonic R being better, just because of that music.
Yeah, that music's incredible.
Yeah.
Really good. Living in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sonic R is like this bad game with some really loose directions as to how the race works, but it's not Toy Story. It's not that malicious.
It's like a bold experimental album. Whereas the other thing is just child abuse.
Yes.
Yeah, it's absolutely child abuse.
But that episode where you're like in a cup and a burger thing sneaking around arcade machines was cool.
It is. There's no checkpoint, so if you die, you have to do that entire 4-minute long level again. That is walking, and then a paper airplane will fly across the screen, so you have to duck. So the horribly animated children's legs go across the screen. Also, the vending machines always drop cans, and later drop 2 cans. So the hitbox and the gap is so small.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever gotten through that without taking like 2 or 3 hits.
You know, European developers, they really were pretty good on the SNES about tricking people into buying a bad tech demo.
Yes.
That game's really visually impressive. What a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. A lot of stuff I'm like, this is impressive, but could you maybe not have 40 things on the screen that hurt me?
No.
Oh, okay. That was 2 hours. Like going through, that was a 2-hour experience. I then jumped to Toy Story 2, which I only did because they put it on the PS4 and 5 through the classic system. It's $6 if you buy it a la carte.
Oh, and that's affordable.
I've played a lot of 3D platformers on streams over the past like 18 months. So I've noticed this pattern where they try to appear normal, and then you get about halfway through, and then they do something horrible, and then you're just hating your time for the rest of the playthrough.
Well, yeah, at that point, you're how do you say, emboldened pro gamer at the game, so you're ready for a real challenge.
Yeah, or they'll just be like, here's a lot of filler that's really fucking bad, like some of those TAC games are. So the entire time I played this for maybe the first half, I went, don't get happy about this yet. They're hiding shit. They weren't. This game's actually good.
Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. It's a 3D platformer. You play as Buzz. You do platforming challenges. You get Jiggies, or their version of it, which is Pizza Planet tokens. There's 5 per level. Every single one of them follows the exact same archetype in every level, which is kind of appreciated. Like, there's a boss one. There's a collect all the things in an area within a time limit. Collect 5 of these little scrimblos for this one person. And a lot of the variety comes from the level design, what they're trying to like aim to do for it. And just going through it, I was like, many 3D platformers that came out at the time wouldn't be this nice, where you can talk to Rex and he goes, to do this race, you need a power that is from Mr. Potato Head in a future level. You cannot do it yet. You should come back. Here's the name of the power-up, by the way. And I go, no other game in this era did that shit. They'd just be like, figure it out, asshole.
You look up the steep cliff and the monkey's up there with the helmet. It's like, if only you had a flyer, you dumb child.
Yeah, they'll do some stuff like that, or he'll go over there. Go over here. There's a challenge here that you can complete, or you got everything, and then you can just leave. Even dying, it kind of just resets your spot on the map, but retains your progress. So it became this really relaxed type of experience where I came out not feeling bad at the end of a 3D platformer Deathstream. I didn't feel mentally exhausted or beaten to go through it. They give you movie clips throughout. They sound worse than Game Boy Advance video.
Yeah, I checked out that part of the stream. I was like, holy shit.
Yes, those were really funny.
They were like, what clips should we get from the movie? How about the one where Buzz does a boner joke? Okay, sure. Buzz gets sprung in this cutscene. Let's put it in.
Yeah, that is the last thing you see before credits. Is just that. It's like Jesse does a cool move to open a door, and then Buzz's just wings pop out, and people went, "They did not just do that, did they?"
I thought it was really funny to take that of all things from the movie and be like, "There's your ending, kids."
Yep.
It's a cowgirl.
There's something really funny about you get to the end of that game, a suitcase pops out, and Stinky Pete and 2 made-for-the-video game Western Evil toys arrive, and all you get is a voice clip that's crunched up going, "Get 'em, boys." And then you're just fighting on an airplane. Yeah, this was delightful. I wish more of these better platformers appeared on modern platforms and not traps.
I forget, did we play this one on Retro Roulette?
We played a little bit at the beginning, I think, either the Dreamcast version or the N64. I can't remember.
Okay, I thought we did. I was like, my main takeaway was remembering was fine, but kind of boring. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it, though.
Yeah,
the music was surprisingly pretty good too on it.
It seemed impressive, but once again, we may have been playing the Dreamcast version. I don't know. I really like that they're bringing over games like this to the PlayStation Premium thing, because nobody in the right fucking mind would be like, "Hey, make a top 10 list of PS1 games they're going to bring over." Toy Story 2. No, you were just 8 when it came out. No, it's going to happen.
Yeah, that entire time I was expecting a 4. And when I came, I enjoyed this thing the whole time. It plays it really safe, but leads itself to just being enjoyable, especially once you start getting other powers. Like you get a grappling hook later, so you're doing this like vertically oriented level of elevator shafts and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's like, and then there's like some time trial stuff in the toy store that you're in, where you get these rocket boots to like jump from cash register to cash register to reach certain things. Like they did a pretty good job of like diversifying it while playing the collectible safe, so it doesn't feel like a pain in the ass of what do I need to get in this level. And also it isn't hyper strict on how many of those jiggies you need to finish, because a lot of platformers go, get 95% of everything in our game, then we will allow you to leave. Here it ended up being, I think it was like 30 out of 40, something like that.
Yeah, it was interesting because Ape Escape gives you that smaller fake ending, like without the real final battle at what I think was about 60 or 70% of all the apes. So I too was like, I'm kind of surprised that you have a pretend ending at like this number, because like that's a thing that a lot of 3D platformers do, where they're like, eat all the fucking eggs. Mario 64 also like cuts you off, like you don't have to do anywhere near 120.
No.
And I always appreciate that. Like, if you made your game right, it's such a joy to engage with that I will hit the ending and then be like, okay, now time to casually, over the course of days or the rest of this death stream, get everything else.
Yeah. If they had put trophies on this, I would have platted it. I would have gone back and just got the things that I missed. I think I hit the last level, which is like the airstrip on the airplane, completed one challenge, and I'm like, Chat said I only needed this much, so let's just hit exit and hit right to the next level. just cap this off.
That's funny.
Yeah, just doing it how you did Banjo-Tooie, where I think you got two jiggies in that last level, and we're like, we can leave.
I'm like, this is literally why we saved up our entire lives. Let's go. But
definitely recommend it, especially. I didn't even know the classic stuff was on PS4 until I looked up this stuff. I thought it was just a PS5 only thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just pick up the old games. But yeah, you can get it on PS4 or 5 for like under $10. So
yeah, and on trophy games, that's one unique platinum each, which is why I have a double platinum in Ape Escape.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's why it's not any kind of internal problem that you have.
Nope.
It's
I
how the
looked
system
into
is
that.
set up.
It's not that. It is in fact all Sony's fault. There's no culpability here.
The amount of people that were relieved that the game that they liked 20 years ago off Blockbuster rentals was not terrible was really heartwarming.
Yep.
Yeah, nobody wants to have that Claymates moment.
Yeah.
Or have to live the rest of your life completely stone-faced asserting that no, guys, you all have terrible taste and Balls 3D is the greatest fighting game ever made.
You should keep saying that. DMF Duel Who?
That really would be a cursed existence.
That game fucking rules. Fuck all of you. You can morph into any other fighter mid-match.
See, sometimes they succeed. Sometimes they really sell kids on playing their shitty tech demo.
Hey, it's fine. It's fine. From Software loved it. That's why they're in Elden Ring. You just hang out and take on the Balls 3D enemies.
Very cool. Thank you.
Aside from that, I spent this week playing some of AI the Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative, which dropped this last Friday. The sequel to the last Uchikoshi directed game, where you're a detective going to people's brains to solve murders. This one entirely based upon a dude shows up, cut down the middle vertically. They have no idea, and then the intro basically goes, that happened, and 6 years later, his other half showed up. But it apparently died 9 hours ago. So you have to figure that out. And most of the beginning of this game is just you dealing with that.
Holy shit.
Yes, they're like, this person was cut on the molecular level. This seems impossible. Go figure this out. Most of my time has been spent in the past solving the initial investigation part of it. I mentioned it at the end of the last podcast. They did a really fun thing where the game starts with a little quiz, and they're like, do you know about the things that happened in the first game, the case of the first game? And you say yes, and they say, okay. Who did it? And they make you type it out. And if you get it wrong, they will delete parts of the script that talk about events of the first game.
Yeah, that shit's brilliant.
I didn't expect the test.
The fact that they actually make you type it out. There's no guessing via multiple choice here. They give you one easy question near the end of the game, and then just, who was the culprit? Who did that? Which I really liked, especially because I'm like, I remember this. I can get through this. And then sometimes you'll go to a character and you have an extra dialogue option that's basically, so about that last game. Yeah. And it just won't exist as an option that you can ask them if you're on the non-spoiler version of it. But yeah, it's like if you play the Ace Attorney games, they give you a room with a cursor. You can click on different stuff to do your investigations. A lot of it's like joke related stuff. You're talking to different people. You're recreating like crime scenes. And the main thing is you go into somniums. That's basically going inside someone's brain. And it's this psychedelic looking visual dungeon where you're running around and interacting with things and figuring out if it does something that'll lead you to unlocking stuff. You're trying to like unlock the secrets of their mind. And certain ones have a split where you could do one thing for one result or one thing for another, and it takes you down a visual novel-esque route where you'll get a different ending. And it's all about like slowly building out this flow chart to figure out the story and the mystery and whatnot. And then the creator of this series, Uchikoshi, becomes insane and says, I'm going to make this important to the plot. This character's just going to talk to you about the Mandela effect for 10 minutes and about how it's related to what's going on now.
This is important.
Where they'll do some stuff like, is the Statue of Liberty located on Ellis Island or Liberty Island? You picked the wrong one, but why did you think that? Well, that's because, and now I will now talk to you about these things. I was so afraid they were going to talk about the yeah, I know. I thought they were going to talk about the Berenstein Bears at some point.
That Ellis Island one is the one example I never got because I was never on that team. So they're like, oh, but no, it's on Ellis Island, right? I'm like, no, you're bad at geography. This isn't a weird psychology thing.
Yeah, so sometimes they just fall into that hole where they just start talking about pseudoscience or other studies and how they will directly relate to the themes in the story that they're telling. And I'm like, man, just you wiki dive. That's all you do. Is this man does wiki dives and gets ideas for the next game that they're going to make.
What was the story of that like Air Force ship that just disappeared and then reappeared?
What is it? The Michigan Project? Or whatever?
Are you talking about the Eldridge?
Maybe. There was something about how crew members and stuff, like, there were missing pieces.
Philadelphia experiment.
That's it, the Philadelphia experiment.
And this is why it's better live.
Yes, by the way, light spoilers. I'm pretty sure they talk about the Philadelphia experiment in the first 6 hours of this game.
I was going to say, it sounds like from that whole intro, this whole thing is going to be about the Philadelphia experiment.
I believe one of the scripts for Half-Life 2 Episode 3 involved something based on the Philadelphia experiment. And that's
cool. I mean, they did have that Aperture boat, so
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would have been baller as hell.
But yes, they absolutely do talk about that one in this game.
That's cool.
But yeah, that's the whole vibe they have. This one has 2 protagonists in it, so that's pretty cool. And it also has Uchikoshi's favorite thing besides Wikipedia stuff, which is aggressively, really pathetic, horny energy.
That's
the first game, your detective, when going inside a woman's house, you can click on the shoebox and he wants to smell it. Because that's just who he is. And then in this new one that has a different protagonist, you have that option again. You click it. And your AI partner says, you should sniff it. He's like, no, what are you, a fucking idiot? What the fuck is wrong with you? But yeah, this is wonderful so far. I really enjoyed the first one. This one seems to be going even more batshit with how layered the mystery is, similar to how Judgment also kind of goes a little bit crazy when it got its sequel in terms of what the mystery you're solving is. So, really enjoying that. That's about all I could say about that at the moment.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to feel playing it. It's going to be maybe the most joyous thing I can experience. Because every time something stupid happens, I'm like, oh, it's going to be so pissed. But that wraps up my week.
Hey, Aggro.
Hey.
What you been up to?
I played 2 things this last week. One is try to finish 15 shows airing this season.
Okay.
Good luck.
How's that going?
Pretty great. It's been a pretty baller season, actually.
That's good.
The other is I finally got around to watching that Nintendo Direct they did. Because, I saw a bunch of shit on Twitter. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess there wasn't much there. So I wasn't aware that there was a Live Alive demo out.
Yeah.
So I played as much of that as I could before coming over here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I keep seeing trailers for Live Alive, and it's like, oh, look at all these concepts and these characters, and look at this art. I'm like, this is really cool. Can someone please tell me how this game plays?
Right?
Anybody?
No.
Then I get in, and they're like, the combat's like this. I'm like, bro, why do I have 9 moves that all have like this is 10 hours into the tactical RPG. This is a lot to drop on a guy.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what that's going to look like 10 hours into this game, but it's honestly a really cool, I mean, you've seen it, grid-based, turn-based combat system. The way they use movement with a charge gauge, it's
yeah.
Like I want to say it's kind of like the way Transistor did it.
Okay, yeah.
Where if you play it in real time, like you can move in real time, but everybody's ATB gauge is always charging, or you could do it purely turn-based.
Yeah.
I mean, given that Live Alive never really came over to the States, I'm surprised I haven't seen this ripped off a lot more.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. Someone out there is making a really bad knockoff that no one knows about. You have to be Earthbound to have a really bad knockoff that everyone knows about.
It is really interesting how they've done the what are we calling it? 2D, 3D?
HD 2D.
HD 2D
is what they're calling it.
In this one, because the environments they've gone for a more like artificial painterly style with it. Mm-hmm. And then they've mixed in a bunch of like DS grade 3D elements into it.
Yes.
So every now and then there's like 3D bamboo and like low poly bird flies by.
Yes. Yeah, I love this shit.
Yeah, it's really fucking good. Like I said when they announced it, I will probably buy every fucking game in this style they make because it just activates my fucking brain.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, like the most exciting thing about ray tracing isn't doing a realistic game with ray tracing. It's doing a PS1 fidelity game with ray tracing. Mm-mm. That's what I want. That thick fucking HD 2D bokeh and fucking depth of field and fucking ray
shit.
Tracing. That is the good shit.
I used to just wander around environments in Octopath Traveler and just sigh.
Yeah, I'm so excited for fucking Dragon Quest III's HD 2D remake. That is,
oh yeah,
like I actually played Dragon Quest like 1 through 4 a decent bit in my childhood. Never beat them. Wasn't into that. So to see it in that fidelity is kind of fucking me up hard. Where I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, and I've been fiending for. You put 170 hours into Dragon Quest 11, and you're like, you guys got any more of that?
Please. Cool.
Yeah, but besides the deluge of anime and, still playing Elden Ring, that's basically the only other thing I got around to.
Yeah, I still need to play that myself because I'm curious how it translates because I don't think there was any active time element to the original Super Nintendo one when we played it.
It's not active. It's like you can move around freely on the grid before you select an ability, but every time you move, everybody's charge gauge ticks up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't help that the one part of the Super Nintendo when we played was a part where you didn't get to see combat until like after several cutscenes. You do one fight and then it's back to cutscenes.
Yeah, see, I was smart. I picked the Imperial Chinese one because I'm like, we're gonna have a fight over some food in the marketplace immediately, and that is literally the first thing that happens. It's the best.
Great.
So that's all you've been playing?
Yep.
I see.
Yeah.
I guess that means we should talk about
what?
The Podlords.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
Yes! That's right.
Woo!
The Podlords.
Woo!
Podlords such as... Wait a second, that's not the first Podlord.
Not again!
E. Lee Broyles, Corey Brown, Dino Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Red Blaze 27, Juice of Frost, Suzushiro, Emperor Zero, Shiba Yagato, leaked screen cap of live action Akechi Persona 5.
Oh, God.
Oh, man, that's rough.
Yeah.
Rado, 101 Shades of Wonderful, remastered. WTF, Spider-Man. Mr. Oh my god. Mr. I just spent $300 on AI, the Nirvana case, or because of Amazon fuck up, so I had to buy the Xbox version, but mine doesn't work. So to PSN, I went. That's where it cuts off.
Okay.
That's it. It's bad out here, okay?
Something about Iron Chef, I don't know.
Man, what was he cooking?
We just don't know.
Love that guy. He's voiced by Pro ZD.
DFW 3K POV, you decide to travel to Missouri.
Oh no!
I'm scared.
I don't know a lot about Missouri. I don't know what this could mean.
I mean, I've driven through Missouri a lot. That's pretty accurate.
Oh, jeez. Shiny Mew. Kristen. No longer smiley face. Fuck the Bupreme Bort.
Could be
I've never
anything.
heard of him, but I'm on your side.
Man, I got a lot going on right now. So you get the majesty of my reptilian son gaze upon his greatness.
Man, that is heavy but worth it.
Kyle Bjork. BN12. Jack Garland's never gonna give you up.
God damn it.
Maddie Mo. Mizuki says, guillotine. I love that Death Grip song.
That's great.
Yeah!
It's always good to listen to your favorite Death Grips album while you're on vacation.
Yeah, she's like, satire while she's holding her metal pipe.
Blig de Blue. Schlig des Poo. Monster Hunter. Ryzen and Raiden. Bury the light deep within. Cast aside, there's no coming home. We're burning chaos in the wind. Drifting in the ocean all alone.
Let's go!
Fuck yeah.
Teeth. Luckily, you all don't need to see teeth again.
Come on, Jordan!
Cooper Tank. Activision Blizzard shareholders while re-electing Bobby Kotick for another year was last week, so you don't get to see that image again. No bit this week. I'm so full from Horty. Yum!
Oh, God, man. He can't put it away.
Drive Type Cam. His name is Montgomery Mortimer Muddlesworth, and his favorite snack is microwaved egg. Indigo Sykes. Die, you die. They had a pick. It did not make it.
I'm sorry.
Player 1 had a bad day.
Oh, no!
A raccoon who is cold and wants to be let in. Let him in.
Oh.
But be sure to let the right one in.
Oh no, is there an evil raccoon? Wanted
Stop.
to do a Nirvana initiative bit, but I don't want to be spoiled while looking for images, yo.
Yeah, it's too dangerous.
It's pretty hard.
Shinji16 wants to remind you that you matter, you are valid, and you deserve to be happy. Well, technically, is a hilarious podlord to come after this. Oh, sorry. Did you enjoy eating your pet Borg, Anju?
Oh, man. No.
Not watching Bleach continuing to pay dividends.
Yup.
The Super Mim. Lane's World 25. Girl boss at all costs.
God damn it.
Sarlene.
Gotta get this tyrant lesbian under control.
Timothy Pfister. I wasn't a Podlord when I made Bob draw this, but I want to make sure that everyone sees Lushar EO.
Oh my god.
I love him.
God damn it, Bob.
I don't control this.
You control your hand.
Actually, based on this.
Okay, you're right. Sorry.
It's sunbreak time. 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 Imagine they wrote this many times and there's a typo.
Oh, wow.
Wrong break.
That's how excited you are.
Pointy and Krungle Spum. Thank you very much to our Podlords.
Thanks.
Thank you, Podlord.
Thank you, Podlord. And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you get access to many benefits, including early access to Chugging Bleach, our, I think, only running anime podcast.
Wow. Yeah, thank God.
As well as Armchair Devs and Gamer Premonitions extras when the format of those shows force us to leave things on the cutting room floor. And if you don't have any money, you can always help us out by spreading the word and telling your friends. And if you don't have any friends, you can probably find a protest going on in your area. Just make sure to wear heat-resistant gloves, bring bottled water, and turn off biometric access to your phone, and, hang out. Tell people about our podcast. I'm sure they'll be in a really receptive mood.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That is patreon.com/gbpodcast.
Okay.
I would like to thank Aggro. I almost fell to my knees in relief that it was not thrown to me. as my brain went, wait, he's not here!
I've been trying to reconstruct it in my head. I'm like, I remember the whole thing, right?
I also do, but it's also like a jumble of just words that he throws at you for 90 seconds uninterrupted, while he waggles his head like the nostalgia critic. News.
We made it.
We did. Here we are.
We made it to the news.
Yep.
I'm so excited for the news.
So am I.
Oh, that's
got
good.
a lot of stuff here.
That's good. Let's see. Let's transition over.
Okay.
The fuck?
Dan, what you got?
A little loud. Give me one sec. Am I gonna get this? You gonna give it to me? The internet said no. Oh wait, here we go. Hey Bob.
Hey.
I heard we got some news.
Yeah.
Hey Bob. Casey doesn't know I bust out an old news theme. Bob! News!
Oh my god, news!
Who wants to pretend to be Mr. Feel? Because I can do it.
Go for it, man.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Here we go. I'm gonna try to be Mr. Feel. Skull and Bones has been rated by the ESRB. Cyberpunk 2? That's what he wrote.
What?
Yeah, that game, Skull and Bones, wasn't supposed to come out.
Yeah, that's the only piece of news he wrote down in here, and then he just left forever.
We've checked on Singapore, right? They're fine. Like their government's still standing.
As far as I know.
Okay.
I thought you had them for the weekend. Jesus.
No. I only have Singapore on Easter.
So this just confirms that they, in fact, will fulfill their financial obligation to Singapore. I can't say I'm that surprised.
That's a buff. That's a buff.
But yeah, that's probably will release this date that probably shouldn't have been released.
Cool. It's a Ubisoft game.
Yeah, so nothing new.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and move over to my news. I already mentioned the most of the stuff with Sonic Origins, but I actually didn't mention something people unearthed in Sonic Origins. People unearthed the UI for a rewind feature. I spend most of the Sonic Origins stream going, I don't know how you release one of these nowadays without some level of save states or rewind feature. I say this at least 5 times. The moment we stop streaming, someone goes, found it! It doesn't work!
I wonder why they asked for a delay.
Yep. How quirky that stealth asked for more time. Bunny Must Die is out on the Switch on July 21st. This is a PSA. That game's pretty good. It'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
Beware.
If you're not sure, I don't know if I want a Metroidvania-like game made by a person who is a big fan of Castlevania and Playboy bunny suits. Dan, should I be interested in this game? You can go check out our review. It is a very good review, and let it get onto Steam. We helped rally the forces.
Well, you did just literally describe Koji Igarashi, so you may want to differentiate that somewhat.
But this one jumps like Metroid, and that's its one flaw.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It has a parry feature, too, which is fucking great. But anyways, July 21st for Bunny Must Die on the Switch. So, Shin-chan, Me and the Professor on Summer Vacation - The Endless 7-Day Journey is releasing worldwide in August.
Oh,
this is surprising.
Wow.
This is the first game from that developer. People who may know that developer from Thor High Heels videos. They made the My Summer Vacation series, which has been on a number of PlayStation platforms and never come over, and it looks cozy and great every fucking time.
So it's the first time both this franchise has come to the US in the Shin-chan game. I don't think there's been any other Shin-chan game that's made it to the US.
As far as I know, there hasn't. But yeah, that's really exciting. I'm going to pick that up because it looks just like the My Summer Vacation games. Or as you may know it, Boku no Natsume.
Now you got me.
Between that and that Doraemon game, I'm like, Jesus, would any more 60s and 70s anime titles we're going to get?
Hell yeah, let's do it. They're like, and we're going to bring a Conan game over. And I'm like, yay. They're like, it's bad. And I'm like, okay.
Or a Battler Dunbine dating sim.
Wait, Battler Dunbine?
Or a Battler Dunbine.
God.
We're going to go to Bob.
Okay.
Hey, Bob.
Want me to start at the top of this?
Sure.
Okay. They did a little Star Ocean: The Divine Force, like, they call it a report. It was like a little event of several things they released. So they released a trailer that's just a like regular composed trailer. Something went deep into the combat and talked about, oh yeah, there's 4 characters. It's not some stupid thing like last time where it's all 8 characters fighting at once.
Oh, jeez. That's a
Yes,
shame.
There's some quacky shit in 5.
And they gave a release date. It's October 27th. So that's cool.
Wow.
It's actually happening. It's running a little better than they showed it last time, but it still doesn't feel like a Lock 60. It seems like it's still like jumpy.
This is a PS5 native game, though, right?
I believe so.
So you get that variable refresh rate.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'll be nice. And hopefully the power of the PS5 will be able to brute force this clearly PS4 game into running well.
Into behaving.
Yeah.
But yeah, that looked cool. I'm excited to pick that up. We also were you gonna say something?
I made a horrible bet with my friend Alto, where they said, "Man, what if it was worse than 5?" And I said, "I will give you $50 if I like this less than Star Ocean 5."
That's basically impossible.
Yeah,
I know. That's why I made such a confident bet about it, because I'm like, there's so many cutscenes here, and the designs aren't horrible.
They were cutscenes. They show space. Something that wasn't in 5.
Dude, Star Ocean 5 has that really bad, like, Star Trek-esque cutscene where they're just on the ship and they artificially shake it to pretend something's happening. It was rough, man.
Yeah, they actually did that in 4 a few times. They really are bad at this.
Yeah,
I'm optimistic on this one, at least.
Yeah, I'm optimistic on 6 in a way that I basically haven't been since 3. Because 4 and 5 have obvious flags. That made me go, what the fuck are you doing over there? What is
walk and talks?
Yeah, I think that the most discouraging thing about 6 is it still has that thing where they can't render faces. They're really bad at it over Tri-Ace.
Yeah.
It's so ugly.
So ugly, it earned a big Think Dimension title.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You see the art that's done by Akiman, the main artist for Street Fighter 2 looks great, looks amazing. And it's like, oh man.
Immaculate.
They can't, like, what's wrong with her face? Why is it round?
They should be mad that their art was rendered in this way.
But the next thing we got lots of info for Azure Striker Gunvolt coming to Xbox.
Cool.
So they're porting all 3. The first one's already out. It's $15. Second one comes out July 14th, $20. And then the third one comes out August 2nd for $30. That's only 5 days after the Switch release, which previously was thought to be a Switch exclusive.
Yeah.
Still no PlayStation release, but hey, Xbox is here now. That's something, I guess.
That's something, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
We also got info that Skate is going to have some sort of open play test they're letting people into. Well, not open, but they're letting you sign up for this.
Now, how many pre's were before the alpha in this announcement?
I think it was 2 or 3. It was up
the
there.
official amount at the end was 2 pre's. It was pre-alpha to sign up for. But at the very beginning of the trailer, it started with like 6 or 8 pre. It was like pre.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because they announced this was a trailer that shows off their progress, which is very Dragon Age 4-esque.
Yeah, I bet.
It's not cool to see it in this form, but hey, at least this is just about getting people to do the beta. Maybe that'll be fun. The mechanics and stuff looked cool. Like their broader ideas that they showed there were neat.
Yeah, and some of it visually looked fine, and others of it were like previs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like they would be building your own course stuff. That's kind of what they implied in some of this one. I was like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, I like that they're signing up to play something, so it's not you showed me an unfinished thing and now you've left. I get to look forward to another unfinished video later.
Yeah,
it's not as dire as Dead Space, because every time they showed that, I was like, this looks horrible, sounds horrible, and you're saying it releases in 8 months.
Yeah. So at least this has the thing of like, we're not threatening to launch this abnormally soon.
No, they're not trying to launch it soon. They just want people to come in and try their game.
Yeah.
And they want to show you kind of what they're working with at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is a lot more.
So that's a much more positive spin, because at first when Bob starts playing this thing, I'm like, after Dragon Age and fucking Dead Space remake, I'm so done, EA, cut it out. But then it was like, hey, it's a playtest, whatever, it's not coming out anytime soon. I'm like, okay, cool, great, fine, that's fine, fine.
Yeah, because it's always that worry of, man, that looked like shit. What do you mean it comes out in 5 months?
Yep.
My last news, Sega talked about their interest in doing live-action adaptations of Atlas stuff. And it specifically mentioned Persona.
I want this so bad.
I feel like there was room there to like properly westernize a movie about that, because it's just, hey, set in high school and have a ton of occult stuff, and then have them have stands.
They want to do it over here.
Who knows? They are very vague.
Okay, I was like,
I would love for them to do it here.
Probably technically tokusatsu, depending on how that series goes.
Yes.
No, it's cool. Instead of being high schoolers, they're now stoners in college, and it's very good. It's made by the people. What was the name of the live action thing where it's about unemployed or low effort employees that were stoned out of their gourd? That Comedy Central's like, this is our hit series, and I'm like,
Workaholics.
Yes. I was like, this is okay. All right. I checked in with Comedy Central after a decade, and they were like, this is it, our major show, and I was like, so that's how things are going. Got it.
Great.
That show's fine.
But yeah, I can't imagine they'll actually execute this well.
But it might be funny.
No, that's why I want to see it.
They're like, there exists a potential here for a good thing.
Yeah,
there's almost zero chance of that happening.
We've got to get the CW on board now.
No, please don't.
No, so we can make a series for like Persona 3, 4, and 5. Like they each get a series, and then we do crossovers. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the really low budget dubstep remix of all the good Persona 5 tracks. That's going to be so good.
They couldn't afford it, so they make something that's like legally distinct from where it's like, oh, this sounds like this is what you're going for. They get someone else to rap that isn't Lotus Juice, and it's the worst thing you've ever heard.
It's okay. We got in Jun Sadoe.
No, get him out of here.
Look forward to the musical episode titled Dancing All Night.
I get it.
That'd be truly terrible. Okay, and that's it for Bob News.
Yep.
So we're heading over to KZ, who has a lot of the stuff.
Yep. Since everyone else was out on a trip, I tried my best to put down as many things as possible. The first one I'm doing is a mercy to Feel, who isn't here, because he would have put this in the news otherwise. Here's your CW news update.
They are currently working on several Atlas projects.
Yeah. This headline made me almost throw up. The opening line, Next Star will acquire 75% of the CW for $0.
They just have to get it off the curb themselves.
The following part of it said, instead, Next Star will assume a significant portion of the CW's current losses, which could exceed $100 million.
Why am I not surprised that something that's maybe produced one show ever anyone has talked about? And then has like 10 superhero shows no one knows. They basically exist to be punched. Do you think it wouldn't cost that much money to make CG that looks like that bad?
But you can make all the jokes you want about the CW, but at least they have a Flash that isn't a menace to society.
Yes. Yes. I've seen a lot of people just going, "Hey, can you just get that? Can you get them instead?"
Honestly,
just can you just go ahead and refilm with that dude?
Honestly, please do. Please do. That would be delightful.
Yeah. Onward to the world of video games. Sea of Stars. This is from the Messenger developers, where it's like a Chrono Trigger style Kickstarter RPG that got delayed to next year. They were targeting this year, but they need a little bit more time.
Man, I never believed it would be this year, but okay, cool.
Yeah, I guess it was one of those things they promised when they did the Kickstarter, which meant, you push it back. That's the rule. That's just how that goes. Next up, From Software's Hidetaka Miyazaki confirmed their next game is in the final stages of development, and the next game that he personally is directing is already underway. Cool. Alongside Elden Ring updates.
Come on, Armor Core.
Right?
Yeah. That made me jerk up. I'm like, is it Armor Core? Is that almost done?
We're just so ready for it.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would absolutely rule. Next up, in true hilarious fashion, we got news for the Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin DLC. Dropping July 20th, Trials of the Dragon King is going to have new jobs, areas, a new tier for armor. You're going to be able to fight Bahamut and the Warrior of Light in this pack. When you went on their official website to watch the trailer, they put up their placeholder video, which was Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. So when you clicked on the website, that was the video that showed, because I guess that's what the intern decided the placeholder video was.
All right.
That kind of feels like a hello fellow kids moment a little bit, because that meme is so old.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Might be it coming back around.
Maybe? I don't know. I feel like we're past that.
One moment, let me check a fucking Know Your Meme to see what the fucking search trend is on Rickroll.
Yeah, that will be important. But yeah, I was thinking they would save some Warrior of Light stuff for a later thing. I'm glad they're knocking out a couple of these things in one part, because they still have 2 other expansions they're going to put out that they already announced. So one of them's definitely just going to be Gilgamesh.
Yeah, it is definitely trending upward.
Person from the Rift. It's trending upward. Let's go.
It is trending upward.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's happening next month. Excited for that. I'm glad they didn't launch it a week later, so it launched on top of other big RPGs at the exact same time. This summer's really stacked.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we got an announcement for Atari 50, the anniversary celebration. This is Digital Eclipse putting out a collection for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC this winter, featuring 90 games across all Atari platforms, from their consoles to their portables. They said it's presented in an interactive timeline, having historical trivia of the era, as well as interviews, documentary stuff, development documents, high-res art, and the games are in there as well. Over an hour of interview footage, and Digital Eclipse has developed 6 Atari games that are called the reimagined games, where they'll take an Atari game and either remix it, mash up, or revisit it. And there are 6 of those. One of them they just straight up said is a sequel to an Atari game.
Yeah, that seems really cool.
Yeah,
conceptually, yeah.
This whole thing's neat. Isn't Digital Eclipse usually the ones that have bad input lag and stuff?
Yes, but they have really good bonuses.
Yeah.
Right. It's their Atari games are already bad, so it doesn't matter how they play. This is literally just a big encyclopedia.
Me and Bob perfectly lined up our takes separately of, this is an amazing historical thing. I don't have to worry if it plays like shit. Who cares about adventure?
Tempest is a good game. I wanted to control well.
Hopefully they get something worked out then.
Yeah, that would be nice, but this seems really cool.
Yeah.
I'm definitely picking this up just so I can dig into all of this stuff.
I have plenty of hours of footage of Howard Scott Warshaw talking about ET on my hard drive, so I'm interested in hearing from people who aren't him. Yes. I still have the footage from the video game years where he's like, they gave me like 3 months. What did they expect?
Right.
What do you want? He's gonna come back for this and interview him again.
He's like, everyone blames it for the crash, but there was a lot of other things to blame for the crash. But whatever. Keep saying I'm powerful. I'm okay with that. I ruined video games,
And I'll do it again.
so clean your room.
Me. God.
It's me, gamers.
It was me, gamers. It was me all along. You killed the Dreamcast? Yes.
You motherfucker. I'm coming for you now. We only have one more piece of news. It is the Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase.
Yeah.
Also known as Nintendo Bunting. Whenever someone anticipates a Direct the most, they pulled this shit out. Where it's, we're just focusing on the third parties. It is a video that goes up. It is not even a stream.
Wow, I didn't realize it didn't even stream it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, those partner ones, they just drop a video. And then I'm like, well, I'm still going to watch it like a normal one. I'm not going to skip. The culture of a Nintendo Direct is, I don't care about this. I guess I have to become a stone for 2 minutes. Here's what we got. I didn't highlight everything. I told people to write things in if they were super interested in specific games. Tried to hit all the highlights. Super Bomberman R2 got announced. This is coming out on basically everything: PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, PC next year.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't expect them to do an R2.
Because of the obvious marketing problem?
No. I really thought R was this one-off, and the next time we came back, it wouldn't look and be the same.
Right? Yeah, that makes sense.
But it is looking the same, and as far as is announced, it obviously doesn't inherit any of the DLC for costumes and stuff from R.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which they sold a ton of. But they did add like some weird castle mode with 1v15. You, the Ultra Chad Bomberman, have to stand at the top and defend your castle against 15 bomber puny people.
That's really neat.
It is.
Hopefully the costume transfer or something. It'd be really lame if those things were all gone.
Buy Dracula again.
Yeah, I know. If they want you to just buy him again, that'd be real
Pyramid
bad.
Head Bomberman again.
Get that wrestler Bomberman again.
Every time they announce a Bomberman, I'm like, is it like 64? No.
No.
I'm sorry, we're losing the culture war.
Yeah, I wish that they would just add that mode to one of these because they switch fully to 3D graphics.
Right.
They just need to make a mode that plays completely differently.
Yeah, I mean that would have made more sense than doing the original, like doing R again.
Yeah,
like just do the spin-off game right now and then come back to R later.
Yeah, that's what Bomberman was to me because I didn't play it until the N64. And then I played those, and I'm like, this is nice. I like this.
Yeah, 64 is real good.
Next up, we have Lorelie and the Laser Eyes. Whoever wrote this in could take this one.
Lorelie and Laser Eyes, point-and-click adventure inspired. They call it a puzzle adventure. It clearly has a Killer 7 aesthetic. It's made by the people... Crap, I already forgot. Bob, do you remember?
They did Sayonara,
Hearts.
Wild Hearts?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks really cool. I'm super interested in that.
Yeah, it looks kind of like it controls like a Resident Evil style, like tank control thing, looking around a large area for puzzle pieces, and has an amazing art style.
Yeah, I'm super down with this. Definitely interested in checking it out.
Yeah. I feel like we said this on the previous big thing through Feel. That it'd be nice if Pac-Man World got some sort of good treatment.
Yeah.
Because the Ghostly Adventures game tie-in stuff is horrible.
Yes.
And then they announced Pac-Man World Repack.
Yes.
To PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC on August 26th. This is a remaster of the first Pac-Man World that was on PlayStation 1. Looks good. Has a nice little Pac-Man design.
I've never played these. Have any of you?
I have. I played a chunk of this first one. I mainly played the second one that was on PS2. But they're fairly delightful. They don't feel like super honed in nightmare 3D collectathons. as the other ones. Like, there's stuff to collect, but it feels like it's a bit more relaxed. There's also, people keep circulating the original PlayStation 1 cutscene of this ghost saying, "You ruined everything, Pac-Man. No one likes ghosts." And then it just cuts to a silent Pac-Man pulling a power pellet out of his pocket, eating it, and just viciously eating this ghost with this deadpan smile. But yeah, this is great. It's coming out in like less than 2 months. I'm glad that that Pac collection isn't the only Pac-Man thing that they're putting out.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, that is good that that's not the only thing they're putting out, because Jesus Christ.
I'm glad they're also already working on Klonoa. That soon.
Yeah.
I'd say he's a much more important 3D platformer to Namco than Pac-Man.
Oh, yes!
I feel like, people would have been fucking pissed if this was announced and Klonoa wasn't happening.
Oh, yeah, they also did that garbage thing companies always do. You better buy that remaster, we'll never touch it again.
Oh, with Klonoa?
Yeah, they did that.
Yeah, Klonoa is in fact the test.
All right. At least that seems like a decent enough version on things that aren't the Switch, and on the Switch, maybe it's good enough for you Switch owners.
Yeah.
Switch enthusiasts.
Yes. I think of myself as a Switch fan myself.
I like to think of myself as a Switch fan.
Immediately runs at 680p. Something that we've surely thought existed for, I feel like 2 years now, was finally announced: the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. It's coming to PlayStation, Switch, and PC next year. It's going to have all the main titles, including their Pokemon-like versions. The physical version is going to have all the games in it, but digital, it's going to be 2 separate things. So you have to buy it in pieces if you get it digitally. And they're very excited about the Super Eagle filter that they put on it.
They are. They seem really jazzed about that.
Like, it's crazy how much they love that thing.
Just zoom in on it.
Off.
That's cool. I'm glad that those are actually coming. Mega Man Legends now, please. Please. I know we had to do this. Like, there was some weird moral obligation to do this first.
That was my whole fucking timeline. I had to dig to find out what was actually announced instead of Legends.
Yeah, I know. I feel like Phil's thing is, okay, I know there's 4 Star Force games, but if you do that before Mega Man Legends, someone's asleep at the wheel over there.
Yeah, I don't think anyone actually cares about the Star Force series. They like Battle Network, and Star Force is neat, but it's not usurping Legends for anyone.
Yeah, I don't think so, but
I have almost no point of reference for Star Force except that it's Battle Network, but a different perspective in 3D. I don't really got much for that.
Yeah,
but I enjoyed the pieces of Battle Network that I played. I'm glad that I'll have a way to do all of those, and I'm glad that they made sure to get all the versions.
I'm super jazzed.
But I'm not. It'd be great, but I'm not expecting them to do the Boktai crossover content that was Japan only. Where they actually had quests and like special chips you could unlock, and they just never brought that over to the West. But that's
as a warning to anyone who hasn't played those games. 2 and 3 are good to great. Don't go earlier or later than that. If you aren't just, I need more of this, no matter how much sewage has seeped in. That is what I've been told by numerous Battle Networks fans.
Yeah. Most of my fans just went, well, 1 is all right. Well, you play 2,
yes,
and then they mostly like stay at a good spot. Like, I've heard a lot of good stuff about like 5 and 6.
Yeah,
and not a single good thing about 1 ever.
Yeah, it's really rough. How many times people are like, "Don't even play 1," and I'm like, "But I played 2 as a kid, and I would like to know. I would like to know." I'm like, okay.
And then it just comes down to like, when you play 5 or 6, it's like, pick the one with the cooler shit on it. Like, if you like the aesthetics of these certain like fusions and stuff you can do in that, you go for that. After that, we got a gameplay trailer for Return to Monkey Island.
Yes,
that's the new one that they're making, where they got the original creators back. I thought it looked cool. Apparently, it has the character designer from Tearaway.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Cool.
That makes sense with the way that looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the main lead and creator will no longer be posting anywhere about their game because the amount of people that are pissed about that art style just kind of knocked him off the internet.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That was a great Wombo Combo reveal of the internet's a piece of shit. The other part of this Wombo Combo being people sending dick pics to the cinematic lead over at Santa Monica being like, I sent you my penis. Tell me when the game comes out.
What?
This is the internet this week.
The internet.
Yeah.
Two different bizarre groups of people decided to be shitty.
Yeah. Corey Barlock has to go, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Yeah. And then David Jaffe's like, haha, I'm going to make a joke. And I'm like, maybe you don't.
Oh, no! Come on! Really? Friend of the show.
Oh.
Yeah,
Jeffy sure makes choices.
I didn't know about that one. That was a bomb.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Next up, speaking of hideous, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope got a brand new gameplay overview. It's coming out October 20th. Show some gameplay. I played a really decent amount of the first one, and this looks like a pretty good upgrade to that. Bowser will be a party member, which makes me think about Rabbid Bowser.
Yeah.
And how that would look.
Yep.
I can't help but look at this and just be like, man, this would just be a lot more exciting a game without Rabbids.
Yeah.
I know.
That's what I thought
really
the whole
sucks.
time. Like, these games looked like fun. I'm not going to buy them because of the rabbits.
Yeah, you literally put minions in the
sucks.
game.
Yeah, they're fucking awful. Please bring back that sick-ass 2D Rayman you were making and not these fucking terrible rabbit cartoon things.
You think the Rabbids are awful?
Yeah.
Would you say they're despicable?
By the way, the Minions movie apparently is in theaters now, by the way. You want to go check out Minions: The Rise of Gru. That's hitting this weekend, and
we kind of don't condone self-harm here. Podcast
unless it's on Netflix.
Yeah. Well, no, we don't condone it then either. We just do it.
Yeah, okay,
to ourselves.
You're right.
Yeah.
But it sucks because I played that and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I went, I can't recommend this. Look at them.
It would have been funny if it was just like only the enemies are rabbits, so Mario just has to kill them as guards.
That would be good. That would approach like being acceptable. It's like, sure, I'll play a game where Mario has a hand cannon. He's just gonna blow up the worst mascots ever made. But that's it for that. For this next one, I collected additional info for because it's Sonic Frontiers. And Game Informer got its chance to attempt to tell people what's in that game.
Don't go too far, though.
You see, if Sonic goes fast enough, you hit what we call the death loop.
Oh no!
It's a little dangerous. So, as has been established already, not through footage, there are cyberspace levels that you can unlock through doing stuff in the open world zone stuff. And we got to see a little bit of it at the Nintendo Direct. Like there's a city metropolis one with like infinite highway roads. They confirmed Green Hill and Chemical Plant are in it in some way, but they do riffs on it. Apparently Rooftop Run from Unleashed is also going to be one of these. There's apparently multiple islands also that you'll unlock as you progress. They decide to have like objectives to these cyberspace levels that are Boost Sonic Unleashed-esque type of things. You have completion time, a harder completion time, the number of rings upon completing it, and the number of the red rings that they started introducing. I think starting in colors.
Yeah, that's correct.
We did get the confirmation. Yes, it is going to become 2.5D mid-level, just like every other time.
Because they have some sort of brain disease.
Apparently, they are also deciding that sometimes it will only be a 2D level based on one impression. That apparently there's one that's just 2D only.
Look, people love inviting me to their party, so obviously they love when I drink too much and vomit all over the furniture.
And I will reserve how I feel about it until I have to deal with it myself. They confirmed through Game Informer there is a fishing minigame where sometimes you'll find Big and you give him purple coins that you find in the open world to participate in fishing minigames with them.
Yep.
Also, Amy will be hanging out, and she will give you side quests. Sonic's going to level up his stats, like attack and top speed, among others. I'm on shaky ground, but I'm like, all right. A lot of this stuff seems appealing to me. Some of it does not, but I'll roll with it.
Hey, I can't sit here and be like, try something new for fucking 17 years or something, and then not give this one a chance. That's not how that works. That's not a part of the social contract. So I'm giving this game a chance. I sincerely hope I have a great time with it.
Yeah, I think that it's like what we got that was new today was it's actually the old stuff again.
Yeah.
And like, I don't care.
Like, okay, so it's half fresh. I'll take that. That's some new thing. Okay.
Yeah, every time I see it moving, I'm like, this could feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see him hit a booster, go down a hill, and slow down. I'm like, okay.
I
What?
gotta tell you, I didn't know Amy Rose was in it. And look, I don't have a negative opinion of Amy Rose by herself. But every time she's gonna be in a game, I am terrified that this time Amy Rose is not going to have cartoonish hedgehog character proportions. I'm terrified that this time Amy Rose is going to be more marketable.
They have Rouge the Bat for that. It's fine. We're safe.
No, Rouge the Bat is going for a different market, and she's already hitting it.
I know.
I know. I was just thinking about I don't know any of those other characters that appeared in Lost World that aren't Zavik, but the green one that is clearly waifu coded.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't. I don't need that. I'm gonna do a depth stream of this on launch, which is the safest thing in all the old ones because the recent Sonic games are like, this is 2 hours.
Yeah, this seems like they're bid at making something over 20 hours, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'm interested in seeing the approach. Ever since Unleashed, they've been trying to come up with gameplay ideas to make it so that their default Sonic control of the boost levels is not a 4-hour game. And this seems like the best idea they've had yet of just run around in the field and solve puzzles. and instead of the God of War Werehog stuff or just doing nothing in Sonic Forces.
What are you talking about? They had the create a character and
Oh yeah, you're right. They had the create a character and the classic Sonic. If I see that man, I'll kill that hedgehog with a gun.
You're
talking about Santiago?
Yeah.
Did you know he hates you? That was the most. This is the dumbest thing I've seen on Twitter this week, but I love it. Where it's just like, this is Sonic. This guy is Santiago.
Dead or alive, Sonic is mine. Okay, next up, we mentioned earlier, Doraemon Story of Seasons Friends of Great Kingdom announced.
Yes.
It's coming out worldwide this year, the PS5, Switch, and PC. I assume this is the same series of games that you played.
Yeah, Story of Seasons. Yeah, it's really weird that they keep doing these.
Yeah,
they're just like, you love farming, you love Doraemon, and I'm like, that's fucking random. Okay.
I played a demo of this because they released it like a year ago or something in Japan. It had some neat stuff like you use Doraemon's infinite door to quick travel around. I was like, oh, that's cool.
You get to use some gadget of his to fucking cheat and just make the crops fully grown.
Have you seen an episode of Doraemon? That's the bit.
Okay, I now see how he's very conducive to a video game environment.
It being a Switch, but also PS5, made me go, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
The farming will run.
Yes, it's important to have frames.
Yeah, important to have that. Aggro talked about the Live Alive demo is out now, so people can try that. And the last thing I wrote down was Harvest Stella was announced for Switch and PC coming November 4th. Yes, it's another fucking Square Enix game. This time you travel the world, farming, fighting monsters with different combat styles. You cook, and you're apparently trying to travel the world and like improve all of these these places.
There's some sort of world event. What was it called? Quietus?
Quietus. The
Yeah.
season of
the
death.
Quietus.
The season of death.
I'm like, this is... I didn't even know Square Enix was making it.
Yeah, I didn't-
officially. It just felt pretty fucking Square
I mean, yeah,
Enix.
I didn't know
Yeah.
either, and I'm like, this clearly takes place in 13.2 or something based on these locales I'm seeing.
Oh man, I forgot to write in that other game. God, it had such a weird name. I feel bad now that I can't.
talking about?
It's that
Gameplay-wise?
Metroidvania style roguelike.
How did you forget to... You watched the trailer on the
I
PlayStation
did.
Store.
I wonder why you forgot what it is.
No, it actually looked really exciting.
I was surprised it wasn't a Grand Blue spinoff by the end of it.
Yeah, because it's
made by
side
Side
games.
Games.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, yeah,
Little-
that explains it.
Chat's blowing up with Little Noah.
Yeah,
Is
Little
that-
Noah.
Little
Scion
Noah,
of
Scion
something.
Paradise.
Yeah, that shit
Side of
literally
Paradise, yeah.
is a 2D platformer Metroidvania roguelike where your attacks are folklore style, where you summon things to do an individual hit. And I'm like, this long. It took this long, and somebody doing a 2D game stole it? This is hilarious.
Yeah, I need to. That's out now. I might buy it. It's on PlayStation as well.
Yeah, no, that looked really good. That it was so weird to see that come out of nowhere and look that cool and be like, yeah, I'm out. I'm fucking good. It's a reboot of an old iPhone game from Cygames. Well, that makes a lot of that coming into form and stuff so quickly make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just really pushing some console related stuff now. There was one game I completely forgot that I did want to put in here because of how badly it was shown.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Quest Treasures is coming out December 9th. This game, they tried to describe what it was with narration, but they forgot the art of audio mixing. So all I heard was the Dragon Quest main theme.
Yeah,
guys muffled, trying to explain to me what this game is about.
I was laughing so hard and I'm screaming at the TV, what? I can't hear you!
They must have fixed it because it was fine when I watched it today.
It's like... and you get to be friends with the monsters.
Yeah.
It was also a very strange trailer from the perspective of, you can get these treasures and you have friends. And I'm like, I see levels. Do we attack stuff? And they spend most of the trailer just being like, look at all these treasures you can get. You get a Dragon Emperor fucking statue. And I'm like, that does look cool as shit. Thank you for showing me this. What is the gameplay? You can glide.
That's like they show you Great Cave Offensive, and it's just Green's playing at 40 decibels. And the animation of picking up treasures.
Yeah, it was really weird to watch that trailer. I was super into it, but at the same time, I was like, well, do I fight them? Do I level up from being good friends with this dragon? I don't. What am I? And then finally, they show the tiniest bit of combat, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I think it's cute that they just are going off Dragon Quest 11, where you're playing as Eric and his sister. In that.
Yes,
and it's like, here's some adventures they did before that game.
Yeah, that looks cool as shit. I'm super excited for that.
Yeah.
It is the weirdest thing in the world how much I love Dragon Quest, but I'm terrified to try to beat any of them.
Sometimes you just want the flavor, so you just pick up a spinoff that won't completely consume you.
Right.
Or, maybe it's just something nice to just kind of take the edge off a little bit.
Dump 10 or so hours in every day.
Every day. Oh, man. Aggro's fucked if they make a Genshin out of Dragon Quest.
It's over.
Oh, man. But yeah. We got to visit some local ass fucking game stores on our trip.
Yes.
It's funny because one of them was like a shack is the way you would describe it.
Like a Radio Shack?
No, like a shack.
Oh.
And it had an unbelievable quantity of games. And it had some really good shit, like, Dragon Quest 8 on the 3DS and Dragon Quest 4 on the DS and shitloads of games in here, right? It is stacked. And they're not stupid, so they don't keep the discs in the box for people to just pick up and walk away with. Then we go to the other one. The other one is like, I too could be a GameStop.
Yeah, it's just lined with pop figures.
It's got Funko Pops. It's got a board game. There are some video games. It was really weird. Their PS1 section's like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Every section was kind of disappointingly small.
No, the reason I bring this up now is I was not aware that you motherfuckers made the price Dragon Quest 8 on 3DS $85 fucking dollars. And I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Yeah. People are going to gaslight me into thinking that's the version to get, but I've seen the visuals and the music. I've seen the fucking visuals. Those are rough, man. I want the PS2 version.
Man, I tried to pick up CY Girls there because
Girls.
They allegedly had it, but then he's like they filed it wrong. I only have one disc. So
he's like, what are the other guys filed it wrong? There's only one disc, and I was like, I don't know, it fucking sucks. But I got a copy of Resident Evil 4 on Wii for like $12, so including tax. So that was pretty good.
Nice.
I love cheating. Just point the Wiimote and headshot every fucking time.
They should have gone completely unhinged and let you move and shoot in that one.
Do they not?
No.
Are we sure that they don't?
Yeah, I'm sure you.
Because it feels pretty broken when you can aim that well.
You saw the lockdown though in sand. You don't get just.
I'm surprised Phil doesn't like try runs on 4 just to freshen it up on the Wii. You know. Because he keeps playing 4 over and over on modern platforms. You think he would just get quirky one of these times and be like, this time's the Wii run.
I feel like he's talked about the potential of doing that, but I don't know if he does it.
You gotta drop the scratch for a VR headset.
Yeah. That's the next. That's Field's next stream goal. Get a VR headset to play Resident Evil 4 VR. If I remember correctly, that game's
the metal one.
That would be nice. When you go to do the suplex, you have to swing both the nunchuck and the Wiimote.
That sounds right.
Which is funny as hell.
Yeah, also, that's what you should do.
When you go to run, you shake the Wiimote.
Isn't that only for the QuickTime events?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. It's like
really good.
It'd be insane if like instead of holding the B button, shake the remote.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. What sort of fucking game on the Wii would you make you swing the fucking Wiimote non-stop in a game where you should hit the A button to attack?
Motion control QuickTime events.
Yeah.
That set my spirit hurtling back in time.
Yes.
Anyway. I think that's it for news.
Yeah, that's the video game news of the week.
Whoa.
I think that was a pretty good...
Also the CW.
I think that was a pretty good Nintendo Direct, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like mind-blowing or anything, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it had solid stuff in there.
Yeah, I still want a real like Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
One that they're willing to just say Nintendo Direct, not Mini or Partner or anything weird.
I really appreciate that they're just like doing this and no one in the journalism side of the game industry is going, hey, maybe them not wanting to talk about their roadmap might have something to do with some sort of successor.
Some sort of box that we could fill.
Yeah. I'm worried about Bayonetta 3 at this point. We should have heard about it at all by now.
Yeah, unless it's the launch title for the 2.
That would be fucking hilarious. We were talking about Breath of the Wild 2 and Bayonetta 3 launch titles for the Switch.
Pick your bundle, bitches.
Do you want it to run right? Then come on down. But yeah, anyway.
I feel like the Switch 2 should also just secretly pack in Advance Wars.
Advance Wars, the stealth collection.
If they just ship it, I'll be fine. I will be okay.
It's like, it's done, man. It's been done for a year.
Nintendo's like, we will not release the Advance Wars collection until there is peace on Earth.
Oh, okay.
We'll get there soon, right?
Peace in our time.
All right.
We're closing in.
Anyway. People are screaming at us to talk about ports. We're not going to do it.
Yep, I know.
Nice try.
I saw it. I went, fucking, who cares?
I think it's a neat idea to get near ported, but
ported is fascinating because of the technology.
Right.
Persona 5 ran on a fucking PS3.
Yeah, right.
yeah, I know. Even though this is the slightly better version that was made only for PS4, it's like, we talked about it with Xbox. It's the same thing. It's just they were like, us too.
Yeah. And you're like, whoa. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Anyways. Next week begins the voting for the death tournaments. That shit's scary.
Yeah.
We actually, a random viewer went and calculated the hours for the demon pits
Shit.
for us.
Shit.
I already did that myself out of fear. I'm like, none of these randomly are hell, are they? And yeah, they are, but
of course.
None of them are long enough where I'm like concerned about our health.
Okay.
For the demon pits, they're just, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's starting next week. Tomorrow we're going to be streaming a game. I hear it might involve Gabe Logan. It might involve morbing out.
Will he Gabe out?
Oh, I'm Logan.
He'll start dancing as the song goes. Have sex.
Yes. John Garvin's like, you have no idea what we meant by this, and I'm like, I don't think you meant by this. Anyway.
You don't understand what I wrote. Hold up Metal Gear script.
Yeah, this is the funniest thing. For anyone who missed us talking about this multiple times before we even hit the stream goal for that, he had the audacity to call the latest Bond movie a ripoff of Siphon Filter. And the thing it's ripping off from Siphon Filter ripped off from fucking Metal Gear Solid 1, which launched a year earlier in America. So that's neat. Anyway, that's it for us. Hey, KZ, what do you got going on in the next week?
At the time of this coming out, so of course Thursday, tomorrow I'm going to be going through some of the Spyro games.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, going to be doing I guess 1 and 2. I'm definitely probably not going to be able to do 3 in one go.
Yeah.
That How Long to Beat seemed pretty high.
They're big games.
They're pretty chunky.
Yeah. I know nothing about them, so I'm excited to jump into that. And then I'm going to keep on going through the Somnium Files sequel. There's also some Monster Hunter stuff. Got a lot of stuff just circling around that I've got to take care of. Also, this week I completely forgotten I watched all 3 seasons of that Kaguya-sama anime. That's like romantic comedy.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That stuff's really good. Sometimes you don't expect them to rip off "You Spin Me Round" that hard with their background track that plays almost every episode. And I'm like, you're doing this shit on purpose. Then they'll cut to a clip of them recreating a Dark Souls-like situation where a dude in the back has an axe that is made entirely of red phantoms and is swinging at nothing. Or a character recreating the entire climax of The Shawshank Redemption for seemingly no reason. Highly recommend that stuff. Cool. But yeah, that's what I got going on.
Okay, cool. Hey, Aggro.
Hey.
What do you have going on in the next week?
You remember that Pac-Man trailer from the Nintendo thing we were talking about earlier? Mm-hmm. Watching that unlocked what was either a deep memory or horrible hallucination I had that the PlayStation 1 had a fully 3D version of Centipede.
Yes.
So I'm going to go see if I can confirm that was real and find a way to play it.
Those are the worst moments when you unlock deep memories that might be fake. You're like, wait, I thought that was a nightmare.
Right? I was like, was that a video game I played? Or like, for those of you who didn't grow up with the earliest 3D graphics, sometimes you would just have nightmares in early 3D CG. And it was nobody's fault. The human brain wasn't meant to contend with that.
Yeah.
So sometimes you remember games that look weird, like, Toy Story. And sometimes that parrot wearing a hat was just a night terror you had all through the ages of 7 and 8. So that's a thing.
For a while, I thought that some of those early VR things that were in like installations
in malls
and stuff were something I made up and that wasn't real.
Because it is just kind of surreal as a child to be like, come, put on the helmet.
Yeah, you're in some sort of weird chess-looking background as a 3D man looks at you.
That was just also the weekend you watched Lawnmower Man, and it all just sort of overlaps.
Now that's a game and a movie.
Look at this pterodactyl. This is very cool pterodactyl. Anyways, that's going to do it for Big Thing Dimension. Normally when we get to edit it, I get to time this up specifically with some sort of ending thing. That's how our variety podcasts go. But instead, this time, I'm just going to have to do it this way. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Big Thing Dimension. Podcast Patreon. Patreon.com/GB podcast. Extra stuff and help us keep doing this as a job. Thank you. This month's GigaBoots videos were brought to you by the continued support of our executive producers, such as Esme, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, Burning Pepsi Man, Adam Admar, Cooper Tank, and Virmvarm. Thank you very much to our executive producers, and also these gamers. If you want to support GigaBoots so we can continue the content crunch, then head on over to patreon.com/GigaBoots today.